Hey guys, it's Marissa. So this week's video I wanted to upload a St. Patrick's Day inspired makeup look. So it's a very green inspired look, so if you're interested in how I did this, then just keep on watching. And also, before we get into the video, if my voice does sound a little bit stuffy, I did recently lose my voice because just of everything going around and stuff. So I did get some sort of cold and I lost my voice over it. I'm just starting to get better from that, so that's why my voice sounds a little bit more stuffy than normal. So after applying the Covergirl concealer stick in the shade Neutralizer as a base, I'm going to be applying the shade Social Blade from the James Charles Artistry palette, and I'll be applying that with an Ulta round brush. Then I'm using that same brush and I'm just dipping into the shade B and I'm just blending and buffing everything out. Then I'm taking the darker green shade, which is in the name Daddy, and then I'm also just applying that with the Morphe M321 brush, and I'm just applying that to the inner corners or the inner crease of my eye and then buffing everything out again. So I'm going to be using the Bloodlust palette in the shade Sworn Enemy, which is this really pretty goldish greenish color, and it's a super metallic kind of shimmery shade, so I'm just going to be applying that with my finger to get the most pigment out of it. For the outer corners of my eye, I'm going to be taking that shade Vile Serpent also with the same Morphe 321 brush. And I'm just going to be applying that to the outer corners of my eye and just deepening that crease. Then I'm going to be creating a wing liner look using a e.l.f. Expert Liquid Liner in the shade Jet Black. And then before we get into my face, I'm going to be priming it using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. For concealer, I'm going to be using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Fair Neutral, and I'm just going to be applying that everywhere and just blending everything in. To fill in my brows, I'm going to be taking the shades T and Benny from the James Charles palette, and I'm just going to be filling that in using the e.l.f. angled brush. Once I'm done with that, I'm just going to be setting my whole face using the Airspun Loose Face Powder in the shade Naturally Neutral. To bronze and contour my face, I'm going to be using the Butter Bronzer in the shade 6676, and I'm going to be applying that using an Ulta blush brush. For blush, I'm going to go back in with that Bloodlust palette in the shade Royal Pain, and I'll be using that all over just to warm up my face a bit. And then before adding the highlight, I'm just going to set and blend everything into my skin again and just make sure everything's evenly blended. With an e.l.f. concealer brush, I'm going to be taking those same green shades again. I'm just going to be applying those to my lower lash line. And then I'm going to be blending everything out using that same B shade again. For my highlight, I'm going to be using the Candy Peaches palette by Jacob and Eli. I'm going to be using the shade Mint, and it's like a really pretty, it's like a dual kind of look, if you know what I mean. Like, you know those shades that kind of have like a different color once you are on like a certain angle, so it's like white but also kind of like a minty kind of greenish, if you can tell, and like it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like a super pretty look, and I just really think it really complements the colors that I'm wearing. So I'm just going to be applying that basically almost all over to the highest points of my face. And then for mascara, I'm going to be using the Rimmel London Scandaleyes Wow Wings in the shade Blackest Black. I'm just going to be applying a couple coats to my top and bottom lashes. And then the final step is adding the matte lipstick, which I'm using the Pixi by Petra. It's like a nude matte lipstick in the shade Pastel Petal. So this is like one of my favorite matte lipsticks to use, so I'm just applying that there. And then once you're finished applying that, then that is the completed look. So I really hope you guys have an amazing St. Patrick's Day, and I hope you guys all try to stay safe and just try to wash your hands and keep as clean as possible. So I'll see you guys next week, and I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!